where he is, Robert?
What?
You know where he is?
Panda? Yeah, he went to the wrong courthouse.
Okay. Panda. Robert. Panda. Robert. What are we doing? Action shot. Robert.
Hey, John, go into the lobby.
We got
Trying to figure out where
trying to be quarterback. I don't want to go inside and that's the idea. I'm supposed to be inside. Nick is typing now.
Bumstead, you good?
This thing is fucked. This is the new one. It's giving me offline.
What?
Starting it.
Yeah, I think you remember. Is that because he's got notification on? I feel like normally it's... That's basically the DA's decision. Are you up? Let me know it so I can go back over the let me know when I can go back over there. You know that Marks is that one that Reuters is that Andrew is in front of. See it? It's attached to the gate. Go up. Are they taking you? Because they're
texting my old number that doesn't exist.
You probably have my old number. Hold on. What's your number?
513.
Ladies, listen up.
446 2964.
they should take Robert when he comes up so that I can go back to the microphone period. Plus, he'll have the better exit shot.
So I did all I did was ask you to take 5 steps. That's all I did. Because I asked you to look at Mr. Steps out. Just wait over here. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, they're filming suits, and I'll walk in.
Hey, you went this way. They're over there.
Jail time, and he has more than enough money to feed punch remand.
What is that?
What do you think?
For what? For jurors?
We'll get straight. What do you think? No?
Oh, they're gonna talk.
I know, but there's two of us.
Remand.
Clear the hallway, folks. Please get behind the barrier. Okay, good.
Erika, will you take?
We're setting up behind the doors. This way. Watch your step, gentlemen. Watch your steps.
Somebody in there accidentally turned off the light. So did you put them on up there? No. Wait, you do have
I mean, I was right here. We're going to walk out anyway. You good now? Hit the light.
Is there no more room left in the malt box?
Yeah.
Is the malt box full? Is that why these are out?
Moat boxes, people can't read. Is the moat box open? Is there still spots? Yeah.
If there's still space in the malt box, can people put mics in that?
And the lights are off.
The lights are off out there. There. They're all, I don't think they're on.
I might have to turn it on. The lights are all off. Just the white car.
Do you need more light?
This is Steve. Who's the camera?
Taking out for jurors coming out, and if we miss any like tidbit of sound from that, then I think that would be a bad thing, right?
Where are you? What do you got? Are you on, sir? No. Take the mic off. See, the mic off. The phone got it.
Okay.
Break it down. The more cards, we'll get more cards. And then afterwards, the one in your board, get one card. Are you plugged in or no? I'll take it again. You got it?
Is that better?
All right, now you're plugged in here.
Light is good? Okay, these mics are plugged.
Excuse me. Can you put this up there, please?
Can people hook into the malt box? There's no more space. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, cool.
Listen to make sure.
No, it's in Wang probably.
Excuse me, officer. Officer, can you put that up? Thank you so much. Thank you very much. See what? See it. Thank you kindly.
I'm in the same hallway. I'm on the other end.
Okay, we're good. The lights are good.
Yeah. How long until he comes out?
Momentarily.
Excuse me, let's give us a 1 minute heads up.
Yeah, you'll get a heads up.
How about 30 seconds?
I don't have a second camera. Oh, really? AC on child. Oh, yes. Yes, on duty.
I am on Hogan.
We're standing right here. Yeah. This angle.
Okay. Do you want to be in the shop?
No.
Be here. That's all right. Maybe we'll exit door.
Okay. I think there are going to be other spaces outside, but people are holding it tight. So we're going to. Yeah, I mean, I'll leave it set up. Right? All right, just a minute, guys. Thank you. I'll just press record.
I got you. There you go.
Who did he say is going to speak there? We'll leave it up for this.
Look, I don't know. I mean, somebody said one of them went out.
No, they no way to defend it.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is your DiGiaro on? Camera? It's on.
Okay, good. Good morning, welcome. Thank you for being here. Dawn Dunning, Miriam Haley, Jessica Mann, Annabella Shora, Tara Wolf, Lauren Young, Megan Hask, Joan Deluzzi-Orbon. 8 women who have changed the course of history in the fight against sexual violence. These are 8 women who pulled our justice system into the 21st century by declaring that rape is rape and sexual assault is sexual assault no matter what. Rape is rape, whether it's committed by a stranger in a dark alley or by an intimate partner in a working relationship. It's rape, whether it's committed by an indigent person or a man of immense power, prestige, and privilege. Rape is rape, whether the survivor reports within an hour, within a year, or perhaps never. It's rape despite the complicated dynamics of power and consent after an assault. It's rape even if there is no physical evidence, and even if it happened a long time ago. This is the new landscape for survivors of sexual assault in America, I believe, and this is a new day. It's a new day because Harvey Weinstein has finally been held accountable for crimes he committed. The women who came forward courageously and at great risk made that happen. Weinstein is a vicious, serial sexual predator who used his power to threaten, rape, assault, trick, humiliate, and silence his victims. He has been found guilty of criminal sexual act in the first degree and will face, on that count, a state prison sentence of no less than 5 years and up to 25 years. To the jurors, I want to thank the jurors for their service and careful attention. Their verdict turned the page in our justice system on men like Harvey Weinstein. I want to say thank you to the assistant district attorneys, paralegals, and analysts who worked on this case, including Maxine Rosenthal, Kevin Wilson, Shannon Goldberg, Harry Dunn, John Irwin, Alyssa Marino, Annie Clark, Danny Mejia Cruz, Stephanie Littell, and Emily Hogan, and especially to Harriet Galvin, Megan Hask, and Joan Deluzzi-Orbon, who conducted a terribly difficult and meticulous investigation and performed masterly a trial under the brightest of spotlights. And finally, to the survivors of Harvey Weinstein. I owe, and we all owe, an immense debt to you, who had the courage, beyond measure, to speak your story to the world, to this courtroom, at great personal risk, and in great personal pain. To those of us who were privileged to be in the courtroom when they testified, you know what I mean. These survivors weren't just brave, they were heroic. Words can't describe adequately the sacrifices the survivors made to pursue justice. Weinstein, with his manipulation, his resources, his attorneys, his publicists, and his spies, did everything he could to silence the survivors. But they refused to be silent. They spoke from their hearts, and they were heard. They were heard by Weinstein's other survivors and by sexual predators all over the world. They sacrificed their privacy and self-protection, knowing better than anyone the extent of Weinstein's power, manipulation, retribution, and abuse. To them, I would say, you broke silence to hold him accountable. And believe me when I say that because you have done so, a generation of sexual assault survivors and all of us heard your every word. Thank you. I'll take a couple of questions.
Sir, are you fully satisfied with this verdict, or do you feel in some way you came up short? You just mentioned could be as little as 5 years.
Well, I'm certainly not dissatisfied by the verdict. I think this was a very difficult case, very challenging case, and a case that really moved our understanding of what sexual assault is, where it can occur, shattered myths that I think have been part of the criminal justice system for a long time. So I believe a B felony conviction with a maximum of up to 25 years is not the top counts in the indictment, but by no means am I disappointed with the jury's unanimous statement that Harvey Weinstein is guilty of sexual assault and rape. Any other questions?
Some of the women, like Annabella Shore and Jessica Mann, it appears the jury repudiated their testimony. Do you have any concerns that women are going to have to endure such terrible cross-examination that they endured at the hands of Weinstein's lawyers?
Well, I think with regard to Jessica Mann, Harvey Weinstein was convicted for rape in the third degree. Ms. Shiora took great risk and was in substantial pain testifying about what happened to her many years ago. I can't look behind the jury's verdict or how they arrived at that. We have to respect that process. But by no means is it a statement against Ms. Shiora or against anything that she said in court. Jurors find a way through to a solution that they believe adequately brings them all together with a unanimous verdict. In terms of the cross-examination, I think we saw cross-examination, the kinds that we've seen for years and years and years. I hope that with this verdict, it will become more obvious that those kinds of attacks on the survivors and victims when they're on the stand, making it seem like it's all their fault, will be realized as legal attacks that just simply are no longer going to work in this day and age, and it's time that lawyers stop using them and continuing the myths that I think the jury verdict busted today.
DA Vance, what's your message to women about coming forward? Because some have questioned why did it take the women so long to come forward. What's your message to women who may be attacked, whether it's today or last year? What's your message to them?
First of all, I would say that, Dean, with this, was Dean, right? With this verdict, I hope that survivors will see that in this justice system, prosecutors, judges, and juries will believe them. Even when the facts are not simple, and even when the dynamics of the relationships between the survivors and the abuser are complicated. So I think, Dean, the message is this is a big day. This is a new day, and I hope women will. Understand the significance of the jury verdict today. In terms of the time it takes to report a sexual assault, Dean, we cannot put ourselves in the shoes of a victim of sexual assault to understand what is going through his or her mind. You heard on the witness stand the reasons why a number of these women survivors did not come forward. They were definitely afraid of Harvey Weinstein, for one thing, and that he would ruin their career. So there's all sorts of dynamics that make survivors of sexual assault not comfortable to come forward. However, those stories are now part of what we all now understand better after this trial that survivors have to go through. So, Dean, I think my hope is with this verdict, survivors of sexual assault, whether it's of Mr. Weinstein or whether it's of someone else, will come forward, and our office and others like our office will, I hope, be there to listen to them and to help them move forward.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day.
An hour after, and I saw my life completely destroyed. And now I wanted just to feel that that moment was worth it, that all those years that I lost were worth it, that now at least I have the right outcome of what I was hoping for back in 2015. So I just needed to see this happening. I wanted to put it back in my mind, to not have just that, bitter situation that I was feeling.
Ma'am, what is your overarching emotion? Guys, give us some space.
I am happy. I mean, I know that this is not over, and so I'm here trying to just live the moment as it is right now. And you're very brave. Thank you. And
the moment you heard those words, what were you thinking?
A lot of crying, and of course, I was with my best friend. I don't know, I can't really, I don't know if you can see it, but like I was crying, and it was at least now happiness, crying. So.
What would you tell Harvey Weinstein right now to talk to him at this
Well, I don't know if I have words for this person. I don't think he even deserves to listen of anything I have to say. I just feel that it's about also all other people that would think they could do something like this. I feel that he's the example. He was the person that will give the example of not doing these things to others. And so, I'm sorry,
What is your name?
The prosecutors for taking the plea for
I have to thank them. Of course, they were pressured by thank you to all of you that reported everything in the process. So I guess it was work that came out from everyone, and so that's the important thing, is working all together. That's,
I think people were so surprised that you provided what you did back in 2015, and you're not here anymore.
It's okay. I always said if I am needed to do something, I would do it, because of course I know this is for many other women, and so let's see for the electorate.
What's next for you? How do you move on with your life?
I am really not. For me, it's not having a situation like this happening again. It's my own life. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep the conversation open. I'm gonna be exposed and talk about this and speak about this, because I want this to stay in the mind of people. So, yeah.
What's your name? Excuse me.
I don't know.
Ma'am, please clarify your first and last name.
My name is Ambra Battilana Gutierrez.
Could you spell that for us? I'm sorry.
AMBRABATTILANA and Gutierrez.
And to clarify, you are not involved in this case, but you will be able to come forward this case.
Yes, I'm not involved in this, and but I'm happy for it. And of course, I'm going to be involved with the killing cases.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No involvement. All people smoke.
That's good.
Got him?
What I thought of it, I didn't think of it. I was just reacting, and of course, I'm super happy of whatever happened today. It's something I was dreaming of for years, and I don't know if you know about my story, but back in 2015, I tried for whatever I could have possibly done to getting to what happened today. So I'm happy to see that at least something was done right the second time.
Tell me what happened with you and Mr. Weinstein.
Yes, back in 2015, I was assaulted and I went to the police an hour after. I, the next day, worked with an undercover operation with the police to record him admitting what he did to me, and nothing then was brought to justice. So I can say that right now I'm happy to see that those years that I lost of my life are getting back. Of course, there's a lot of work to do, and I'm here to, being there and speaking to people so that a situation like this will never happen again. And this is my mission right now.
Say and spell your name for me.
Ambra Battilana Gutierrez.
Spell that please.
Yes, Ambra, A-M-B-R-A, Battilana is B-A-T-T-I-L-A-N-A, Gutierrez, G-U-T-I-E-R-R-E-Z.
What's next for you?
What's next? Also this Friday, I'm working with organizations that will try to push the Adult Survival Act, and that would try to open a window for the statute of limitation, so that adults, if they feel right now they wanted to, reopen their cases, that could be possible, because we need justice. We need to feel that our life gets back, and that's something that it's very in need for now to try to do.
Thank you for speaking. Thank you so much.
Who was one of the 3 Molyneux witnesses in this criminal trial. And I also represent 3 other claimants in civil trials, civil cases against Harvey Weinstein. And I also represent 2 other people who are objecting to the civil settlement. Again, Doug Wigdor, and this is...
My name is Deborah Katz. I also represent one of the Molyneux witnesses, Don Dunning. And I've represented Erwin Reiter, who was an insider... I've represented Erwin Reiter, who was an insider at the Weinstein Company. But Doug and I both represent 2 very courageous women who testified in court at great personal risk. They came forward and described the predatory behavior of now convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein. No longer will we accept as a society a defense that poor Harvey Weinstein was an unwitting victim of women who took advantage of him. It will no longer be acceptable in courts for anyone to argue that women who are victimized by sexual predators brought it on themselves because they wanted to advance in their careers. Those days are over. There was a repudiation of that argument today, and that is all to the good. That moves us all forward. because arguments of the type made by Harvey Weinstein's lawyers have kept women back and have silenced women and have scared women from time immemorial. It is a new era. The Me Too movement has educated us all about how pervasive this kind of behavior it is and how unacceptable it is. And today, the jury put an exclamation point on that in the most significant way possible. Doug and I were in court as we saw Harvey Weinstein being remanded into police custody. Harvey Weinstein is exactly where he should be now, behind bars. Harvey Weinstein has hurt dozens and dozens of people by his sexual, predatory, rapist, violent behavior. And today there could be no other discussion other than Harvey Weinstein is exactly where he should be.
And let me just add to Deborah's comments, all of which I completely agree with. I think one of the things about today is we will not see Harvey Weinstein come down those steps in his feeble attempt of pretending to be unwell and using a walker, because he is now in custody. He's been remanded. He awaits sentencing in March by Judge Burke. And today is a significant day because he's been held responsible for his actions. But while we can't undo that harm, while he's been convicted, we can't undo the harm that he has caused to so many victims. Today will be some mode of relief for all of the assault survivors who hopefully today can bring about some sense of relief. And so for all of the survivors who participated in this criminal trial, I think Deborah and myself and everyone else who participated in this trial want to thank them. I'm confident that each one of the 6 women who testified convinced this jury to convict 2 separate victims, one of criminal sexual assault in the first degree, Mimi Haley, and I know that Gloria Allred will be speaking about her shortly, and also another victim in rape 3rd degree, Ms. Mann. So to Mimi Haley, Jessica Mann, Annabella Sciorra, Tara Lee Wolf, Dawn Dunning, and Lauren Young, let me say on behalf of all of the victims, thank you very much for your participation. Thank you for having the courage to stand up in not easy circumstances, to face cross-examination, to face the media, to face scrutiny, but to do what was right. And thank you to those women for lending a voice to those that couldn't be directly heard, because we know that there are many other victims of Harvey Weinstein who were not testifying at this trial, but their voice was heard through these 6 courageous women. And of course, we're also grateful for the incredible and courageous reporting that got us here through Jody, Megan, and Ronan, and to their sources who risked violating non-disclosure agreements, rogue investigations, threats, and the power of Harvey Weinstein. We would not be here today if it were not for that reporting and for those sources. And of course, we're also grateful to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office that worked tirelessly in reporting, investigating, and trying this case. To Jonah Luzzi, to Megan Hask, we're all appreciative of your hard work, dedication, commitment, and seeing that justice was served today. And to the men and women who supported them in the District Attorney's Office. And to Cy Vance as well. He and I not necessarily have gotten on back in 2011 with DSK when I represented Nafissatou Diallo, but today is a new day, and to him, I congratulate him, and I'd like to thank him for bringing this case. And finally, to the jurors who gave up weeks of their life to be here, to finally come back with a verdict, and as I see them behind me, to defense counsel. They had a job to do, a client to represent. Because of them, Harvey Weinstein received a fair trial. Even though he lost, he was lucky enough to have them represent them. And let me just say this, and finally, because I think we have some people who really want to speak, who deserve to speak. But I represent 3 other women, as I mentioned, Ms. Sokolow, Ms. David, Ms. Hewitt, and we intend to continue to hold Harvey Weinstein accountable for what he did to those women and to follow up on this criminal trial. Thank you.
So you guys
going to have to make a choice because we have to go do some work. So you either hear from the defense team, or you can hear from
You're not going to silence me again. Oh, yes, you are.
All right,
Oh,
so
yes,
you guys
you
aren't
are.
going to hear from us.
Well, really?
Donna, please come back.
All right, I have a short statement. Today, the jury in the criminal case of the people of the state of New York versus Harvey Weinstein returned a verdict against the defendant.
You got to get down, all right?
Harvey Weinstein.
It's not about you, babe. Get down.
Do you want to go over there? Is that what you want to do? This is a legal reckoning for Harvey Weinstein. The three witnesses whom I represent have been role models and parents. Without them and their willingness to testify under oath in this case, and without their willingness to be subjected to an intense and brutal cross-examination, this result would never have been won. Mimi Haley is one of the two victims in this criminal case, and she is my client. Mimi sacrificed her right to privacy in the interests of justice. Annabella Shore was a very brave witness on this issue of sexually predatory conduct. Lauren Marie Young was a Molyneux witness, prior bad act witness. She's also one of the two victims in the Los Angeles County criminal case against Harvey Weinstein, which will be prosecuted in Los Angeles very soon. All of my three clients should be considered heroes of the women's movement and the victims' rights movement. These witnesses told their truth under oath, despite what many people felt were unfair attacks on their credibility by Harvey Weinstein's defense lawyers, who attempted to do anything and everything legally possible to challenge the motives of the witnesses and blame them for what the witnesses testified that the defendant, Harvey Weinstein, did to them. Fortunately, the defense attempts to discredit them were not successful. My clients bravely stood in their truth and refused to be intimidated, bullied, or shamed into substantially changing their testimony about what the defendant did to them. I'm very proud of them. I'm very happy that the jury delivered the verdict that was read in court today as to Mimi and as to Jessica, who I do not represent. The jury took their time. They asked very thoughtful questions in advance of the verdict, and we thank them for their service on this historic case and for their carefully considered verdict, which I believe is a just result as to Mimi and to Jessica. Harvey Weinstein will now have to finally face the serious consequences of his criminal behavior at his sentencing here in New York on March 11th. The most serious charge is the one that he was convicted on for my client Mimi. For that, he can face 10 to 25 years. And the victim does have an opportunity to speak at the sentencing and give her victim impact statement. And in the event that Mimi is available on March 11th, she and I will be here in order to do that. That he was okay, good, thank you, that's good. So, in addition, I look forward to seeing him in Los Angeles after the sentencing, as he attempts to defend himself against the criminal charges which will face him there. And as I said, I represent Lauren Young, who's one of the two victims for whom charges have been filed in Los Angeles. And she was a Molyneux witness in this case. I look forward to his sentencing and the next criminal trial in Los Angeles, where, as I said, I'll be representing Lauren Marie Young, and this case will continue. I will say this about Annabella. Even though the jury did not find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, Mr. Weinstein, was guilty of crimes crime against Mimi and a crime against Jessica and sexually predatory conduct. Annabella is absolutely one of the bravest women I know. She sacrificed so much privacy, invested so much time, went through so much just for the cause of justice. She didn't have to do it. She did do it. And I'm just so honored to know her and to represent her. The fact that they did not find guilt beyond a reasonable doubt on the issue of sexually predatory conduct does not mean that there weren't members of the jury who believed Annabella. Although I have not had an opportunity to speak, nor have I heard any interviews by members of the jury, I have confidence that there were people in the jury, there were members of the jury who did credit Annabella's testimony. It's just that the jury could not find guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the highest burden of proof in the law. It's always possible that she was believed, but that the high burden of proof required to find him guilty of sexually predatory conduct is not something that the jury could find. But nonetheless, she's so brave. Susan B. Anthony once said, "Courage is the best protection a woman can have." And I just can't say enough about her courage through all of this. And I'm also going to say in advance, I know there are going to be many people in Los Angeles who are going to be testifying at the Los Angeles case whom you have not yet heard from, and who will also demonstrate courage in testifying in LA. So I'll be happy to take some questions.
If you could, what would you tell Harvey Weinstein right now?
Pardon me?
If you could talk to him, what would you tell Harvey Weinstein right now?
If I could talk to Harvey Weinstein, what would I tell him right now? Well, I just heard that his attorney said that he was shocked. And he was surprised by the verdict. Well, he shouldn't have been surprised. If you do to women what you did to Mimi, what the jury found that you did to Mimi, criminal sexual act, what the jury found that you did to Jessica, you shouldn't be surprised if you have to face criminal consequences for the crimes that you committed against them. You shouldn't be shocked. You should have been prepared for this. It's no longer business as usual in the United States. This is the age of empowerment of women. And you cannot intimidate them anymore. Because women will not be silenced. They will speak up. They will have their voice. They will stand up and be subjected to your small army of defense attorneys cross-examining them, attempting to discredit them, humiliate them, shame them, and they will still stand in their truth. So Harvey Weinstein, this justice has been a long time coming, but it's finally here. And it's not the end. Because LA is still going to proceed. And I believe that will happen after the sentencing, that he will be quickly going to Los Angeles, and we're looking forward to seeing him there. I'm sorry? Can't hear you. In this case? Okay, well, Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew needs to start by talking to the FBI. And so I do hope that everyone who saw my message on the yellow school bus on Friday to Prince Andrew and to the public in Great Britain, which said, if you see this man, ask him to call the FBI and have the FBI's number. It's not an accident that was on a school bus, because it's about children with Jeffrey Epstein and his sex trafficking of underage girls. So my message is, it's time to step up to the bar of justice, or at least talk to the FBI. Say what you know. Well, they haven't questioned him because he hasn't agreed to be questioned. The clock is ticking. Thank you. Any other questions about Harvey Weinstein? Or what happened today? I'll just say I'm very happy. I'm thrilled. When the verdict came back, guilty for Bill Cosby, I said women were believed. And now that the verdict has come back guilty for Harvey Weinstein, I will say once again, women were believed. So for those of you who are listening and watching, if you are a victim of rape or sexual abuse or sexual assault, please know that this is a new day for victims of gender violence. Law enforcement is now beginning to believe you. Juries are beginning to believe you and to convict. So just have courage. This is a new day. Justice may be coming for you as well. Thank you.
Oh, where are you? I want to. Okay, I might go right here. Okay. Okay. How's that? All right.
Don't push on these.
Why did you guys convict on the predatory charges? Was it divided among gender at all?
How hard was this
a difficult
decision?
process for you?
You want?
What was it like, sir?
How hard was this decision?
Why have you deliberated why stay contact? What was the debate like? Please keep it
Everybody off. Everybody out of the street, please. Any thoughts, feelings at all?
Sir?
How was this? How did it?
Everybody back. We gotta clear the street. Gotta clear the street. Let's go. Get back. Sidewalk, please. Get on the sidewalk. Thank you. Get on the sidewalk. Sidewalk, please. Thank you.
Thank you. On the sidewalk now. Sidewalk.
Right here, Eddie. Sidewalk.
Guys, straight line, left to right. None of
So everyone knows.
I'm going with you.
She probably yeah. So that was like
No, jurors just walked out, period. Shot them through a barricade, set up for press, period.
So you counted 6?
No one said anything. Well, I knew the court officer. Sticking around to see if anyone else comes in. 7. Just 7. Are there more?
Apparently that's only about
So 7 left. 7 left. I just counted 8. Yeah. Like, just for your...
Because one, I couldn't tell if it was juror or not, which was close.
Okay,
So I could
go.
see
Ready?
if it was juror or not.
Doing it again.
Yeah.
1. No. Okay. 2.
Oh, that was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
But one of them is the head.
Yeah, but it's wire put off. Yeah. Thank you, Lucian.
Hey, Lucian! Lucian!
One after?
Yeah, I was up there, didn't hear the play.
I also see in there.
There's just like a bunch of talkers.
I only every time I've been in there, I've never been in there.
Yeah, neither have I. So, besides
yeah, right. That's the only one that everyone seems to know.
she was the first one.
I'm here. They
Yeah.
going to give it a few minutes before. Go around the corner. Period. Just want to confirm that no one else will come out. Go around the corner. There's still some officers coming. How's the weather up there? Just that people in the van?
Good. Were you in the front?
If you look, there's trees to the face. I mean, why would you? And they're not Once you're there, I was like, that's great. I love. I don't see no one looking for
That was crazy.
This was like literally the barricades came up in 30 seconds under the That was the fastest. True? Oh, I'm so sorry you brought it. My apologies. Nothing's wrong. I'm a reporter. Oh, that's okay.
No, they came in the van. I mean, they were definitely officially escorted.
No,
I think it's fair to say. We think we were debating on how many. Not everything.
Hey, Craig.
I was kind of happy.
No, that the last interview. That was
I don't want to get on.
see that one.
I'll tell him that. I feel like you're there. If they would be jurors.
Hey, Craig. You were gross today?
Yeah.
Tom Hayes just confirmed that those were.
I did.
So it's just like official. Yeah.
We just think we have a smaller group left, right?
I know that I probably would have
Well, they only have one bus.
It looked like a 12-passenger bus.
It looked like it. Yeah, they want to get some comfort.
It's 4 rows.
Yeah. I think if they're escorted, be interested. Maybe they may have left on.
Do you know all of their names?
Yeah. Why would they be here?
I saw that 7 have a. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I think it's quite criminal.
Hey, Craig, you got a reporter? You got any mints or a reporter? Any mints or anything?
I've had so much coffee there. What?
Well, I think that they.
How are you?
So they would. So like, I mean, maybe not for one person, but
Sorry. So we have 4? Okay.
we have a car coming, or if there's a car that comes up, there will be banned. Yeah.
Hold my phone.
Yeah, good point. Now I'm gonna be like, just like because I wonder if like it's transcript design.
And was the first guy a real guy? No, not this time. No, the first guy. One guy. I think that's a good idea. Okay, here we go. Barricade of
freedom. Yes. I love the barricades. Like up here, I think they're just lining up again.
Take a step back. Yes.
I step back. So right?
You hot? Gotta back it up. Gotta back it up, folks.
Who's the back up? Who's back? It says who's back.
You good? Yeah.
You're good.
How about like that?
Sorry, you right? Thanks.
You want to switch sides?
Can you get in there? All right, can you take a step back? Everybody kind of take one step back. You got it. We got the bridge.
One day I brought lunch. I have lunch too. I didn't get to eat it. I'm sitting here again. You're all across the room. Yeah, right. Now after this, it's like a hot bag. I got my tripod on. Did you get to press conference?
Yeah, no, but I'm just sure that.
Is it not getting paid? Pretty sure they're getting paid.
Sorry.
100%.
They have to do it.
We're talking about the weather, so
I can't write it right now. So I can do it all. Not that good.
Right. They were pretty quick last year.
We'll have to just figure everything out when we're done with the show. Unless I can jump share. If they're all no, but should I vote? Whatever. As glorified.
Well, then they're
Unless you have a better idea, if you have a better idea for it, please. So maybe we'll get different video.
She's in 7, right?
Or if they're saying keep talking to different people. Remember from the first one we're walking back up and down. And then maybe we're going to divide up. Yeah. And then maybe one will go one way, one will go another, and then we'll move. Yeah, I got you right. I just what they're going to share, I'll get the video. She was the person who
Good. Yeah, we're good.
I don't care about that. I don't care about
my battery.
That's what I said in my tag. Not yet?
No van.
Like not at all?
Like not at all? Not at all.
David, if there's a gold nugget there, I'll take it.
Are they getting snuck out?
No, they are.
Okay, so they are. Okay, so you want me to go to a different door, or you want to stay here, or just tell me what
did he say there?
Okay, so you want to go front?
Last 4 jurors are all waiting for
We're all to the back.
the public entrance. So they're all gone, so there are no jurors left in the courtroom.
No jurors left.
Thank you.
In the court. Okay.
Right back to the front.
Yeah.
Sending out your phone call?
We have Facebook.
It says there are no jurors left.
Do you regret Mr. Weinstein not taking the witness stand? Do you think that would have swayed the jury a different way?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, what are the most promising issues to raise in your head?
Ça nous demande, premier ça nous demande Jovenel, c'est réintégration ces policiers, ils ont révoqué de façon arbitraire.
Yes.
So, c'est tout le temps qu'on fait ça, réintégration, ils vont parler avec nous. Deuxième revendication, c'est ajustement de salaire là. Conditions de travail, nous. C'est ça qu'on a demandé, monsieur. Et monsieur, vous prouvez nous qu'ils sont inconscients.
Parce que c'est conscience, mais s'il est inconscient, c'est qu'on est journée jeudi. Si le cas là, toujours c'est la police qui met là tout.